Dallas, the Maverick misfortune. It's the Mavs and the Kings. And Alan, first quarter, Kyrie Irving, I want you to watch the left leg. We're going to give you another look at it. It does not look good.
I'd rather not look at it again. I had this happen to me in the game twice, and that right there it's the pain that you feel and then the fear because you know something's bad. And I give him a lot of credit, Greeny, staying in the game.
They carried him to the free throw line. Listen to the crowd. Crowd cheering him on, admiring the courage. You can see tears streaming down his face as he makes the first there and then makes the second here as well. And then they will help him off of the floor, and that would be his night. He'd be ruled out with a left knee sprain. Kings would go on to win the game 122-98, but that feels like overwhelmingly the least important part of this conversation. You know, sometimes when you don't have a doctor handy, you ask a ball player, and they tend to know these things better than anybody. Big Perk, what did we think we saw there with Kyrie Irving, and what is your reaction?
To me, Greeny, it didn't look good. I think it's a season-ending injury. I don't know. Maybe we have to wait for the update. But again, I just saw a guy that had been playing at an all-NBA level. Kyrie's been balling this year. When you look at his numbers, his leadership has been a beautiful thing to see since he's put on the Dallas Mavericks uniform. And the fact of the matter is he's been the best player on their team, especially after they traded Luka. And so when you look at the injuries that they're dealing with, it's a huge blow. We just want Kyrie to come back healthy. I mean, get back healthy and get right. But it's devastating if you're a Mavs fan. It's devastating if you're an NBA fan. It's devastating for all the basketball community to watch a guy that's been balling at a high level and so much respect that we have for Kyrie Irving. Now you see him go through an injury like you did.
I completely agree. And thus, it is impossible, however, not to put all of this in the context of the enormous trade. This is a team that made a league-altering, franchise-altering, maybe history-altering trade. For the record, the numbers since the trade, the Mavericks are 6-7. 3 of those losses have come by 20 points. Right now, they are 10th in the West. At the same time, the Lakers have gone 10-2. They have vaulted all the way up to 2nd in the West. So, Alan, as we step back, and again, the Kyrie injury is a horrible, hopefully it's not as bad as it looked, but putting that all into the bigger picture context, where do we sit right now?
The first thing I thought of watching that injury, and of all things, seeing Anthony Davis helping him off the court, Anthony Davis in street clothes, the first thing I thought of was Babe Ruth. And why Babe Ruth? Well, because the Red Sox moved on from Babe Ruth, and the curse of the Bambino became a real thing. And so you can't help but think, when you move on from a great player like that for the reasons you did, how'd it work out for the Red Sox and how long they had to wait before they finally could win? So you think with the Dallas Mavericks, it's just the bad luck gets worse for them, because now with Anthony Davis, you were waiting for him to come back. And now, do you even bother waiting for him to come back? If Kyrie Irving's out for the season, do you tell Anthony Davis the same thing? Shut it down, get right, and have to focus on next year when, oh, by the way, fans are going to have to spend more money to buy tickets for the Dallas Mavericks.
And what can only be described as one of the most startling examples of terrible timing and a poor job of reading the room. The Mavericks yesterday, albeit before the Kyrie injury, told all their ticket holders that they're going to be increasing their season ticket prices next season. I believe it was an average of 8% or something like that. Yeah. That didn't play particularly well on the Twitter X there yesterday.
Shocking.
But I'll ask you the same question, Big Perk. Sort of big season Mavericks right now, we wanted to see them complete. We may now not at any chance to see them complete. What are your thoughts?
We won't, and we shouldn't. If I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I shut everybody down. Like, it's only, a month and a half left in the season, right? And the injury even that Anthony Davis is dealing with is something that you can't rush. And if you don't have a healthy Anthony Davis and a healthy Kyrie Irving, there's no reason to try to finish the season at a strong level. And I don't believe that they could compete with the Western Conference to even try to finish real strong. So shut those two guys down, let them get healthy. Obviously, they got some decisions that need to happen this offseason when it comes down to Kyrie Irving contract. which I think, they're going to come to agreement. They really don't have no choice at this point. But at the end of the day, this season is over for the Dallas Mavericks.
It does feel that way. I want to bring in Big Perk for this. Big Perk, we were having some fun last week with the Yankees' new facial hair policy. And Bart Scott dressed the part, and this was what he said.
I feel like our boy Kendrick. I want a double biscuit with secret sauce.
What do you think? It looked a little bit like you, yes?
Yeah, it did. It did. I mean, Greeny, listen, you're not going to find too many 6'10" brothers like me. You know what I mean? I look good. I look good.
You do. No, you're 100% right. And Bart is not one of them. I stand next to Bart all the time. He's nowhere near 6'10". But that is, if that was an imitation, it would have gone pretty well on Saturday Night Live. Okay. Let me show you what the MVP of the league did last night. That would be one fella named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Thunder and Rockets. Houston missing 4 starters. George Kittle in attendance. He could have suited up for the Rockets last night. Let's go late first quarter. Alan, this was just the SGA show.
Yeah, he slices and dices. Death by 1,000 cuts. He has the ability to score at all 3 different levels, and I think he did in this game. There's the 3. You saw the drive, and he got 10 free throws and made all 10.
He had 20 in the first quarter. Then how about this move? Look at this. 28 at the half. Thunder by 1 at halftime. Third quarter is a familiar face for you, Isaiah Hartenstein. Allen finding SGA, taking it strong to the hole.
Unfair when you have your big man making passes to your guard who's doing the scoring.
45 points for SGA through 3 quarters. Thunder start pulling away. Fourth quarter, the lead is 10. Case and Wallace, no. SGS, yes. Oh, SGA, I should say.
I was going to say SGS.
51 points for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the Thunder win their 50th game of the year. Here's why he's the favorite to be the MVP. It was his 4th career 50-point outing. Those have come in the last 19 games. He has scored 50 points 4 times in the last 19 games. It is by a wide margin the shortest span between a player's first and 4th career 50-point games in NBA history. Big Perk, quick question. Is there any doubt that SGA is the MVP of the league this year?
No, and he's definitely getting my vote. I mean, Greeny, to double down from what he did last year, right? The number 1 seed in the Western Conference, averaging 30 again. And look, joining the company of Michael Jordan, for his guys averaging 30 and shooting above 50%. And he's done it this is going to be his 3rd straight season doing it. Now, Michael Jordan did in 5, but SGA is the best perimeter player in the NBA. And here's the thing, he does it on both ends of the floor. He's the leader of that charge when it comes down to them sliding their puppets. OKC has the best defense in the NBA, and it's led by SGA. Offensively, he's leading the league in scoring, dominating in all fashions. He's clear-cut the MVP right now.
I completely agree. I let myself get talked out of voting for him last year at the very end because of some advanced numbers, and I regretted it then, and there's no way in the world.
You.
Yeah, I do. I feel I should have voted for him last year. I do regret that. And I am definitely going to vote for him this year. Meanwhile, the Thunder, another of the reasons is because his has been the best team in the West by a wide margin. Take a look at the standings in the Western Conference. You got OKC, they have an 11-game lead. But take a look at who was right there behind them. On January 14th, the Lakers were the 7 seed. Now they are the 2 seed. They're 18-4 since that date. They are 10-2 since the Luka trade. And our friend Shannon Sharp offered up these thoughts on the Lakers' chances in a playoff series against the best in the West.
The way the Lakers are playing right now, the way Luka is starting to get his legs, get his conditioning back, and LeBron has been great, but he's really been exceptional since he's turned 40. Are you telling me in 7 games they couldn't beat Memphis, they couldn't beat the Nuggets? I told you the other day, Stephen A., it doesn't matter. OKC, KFC, UFC. Lakers in 5.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
KFC did add hot honey wings to the lineup.
That's true.
You got to keep that in mind now.
That's right.
I knew Perk would like that, right? Come on now. Yeah, that's a pretty good matchup.
Well, why? But I was trying to read the facial expression of my friend Mr. Perk there. What was your reaction to what Shannon said, Big Perk?
But because look, do I think the Lakers have a legit shot of making it to the NBA Finals? I do. Am I picking them, Greeny, Allen? No, I'm not. I got Oklahoma City representing the Western Conference. Now look, J.J. Redick has done a phenomenal job. Matter of fact, J.J. Redick is trending towards getting my vote for Coach of the Year. Okay, that's number one. Number two, yes, their defense has improved, but the disrespect to Oklahoma City. You know, people disrespect this team. They're non-believers. And, you know, my grandpa always used to say, boy, a hard head make a soft behind. You don't believe water is wet, huh? You think it's fun. You think it's still a game. And it's not, man. This team is serious. This team is serious. OKC is serious. But I do think the Lakers do have a chance. In the 7-game series, I'm still leaning towards OKC.
A hard head makes a soft. Every single time Kendrick Perkins comes on the show, I write down at least one thing to try and remember it. So let's talk about that. Because when I see this number up here, I mean, the Nuggets were everybody's favorite last year, and they're the champs the year before that, and all the rest of that. Let's give OKC their due. They 100% deserve to be at the top of this conversation. Are the Lakers the biggest threat to them in the West, Allen?
I would put them right there with the Denver Nuggets because I'm not going to sleep on the Nuggets and what they can bring. And we know that they've had some injuries and Jokic has been sick. They have not been the same lately, but we just saw them get right. And once Jamal Murray gets right, the Denver Nuggets are a different level team. So I would put them right there with the Lakers because of the Nuggets, their experience, and the fact that they have Nikola Jokic, who's a matchup.
I want to hear, but wait, I want to get specific about something with you, Perk. Because when this trade was made, I had everybody on the show, and everybody told me, the Lakers, this is a great trade for their future. Oh, boy, are they going to be good eventually. This is going to become Luka's team eventually. They're going to need to add a big, and then they'll be good, maybe even as soon as next year. They've gotten so much better so quickly. And, yes, give J.J. a bunch of the credit. But how about, can you just describe, as one who played as long as you did, the way Luka and LeBron have figured each other out this quickly? Watching the two of them, we use the term basketball IQ a lot. Maybe we overuse it sometimes. What are we seeing in the basketball IQs of these two that they have figured out what they have this quickly?
Well, I think you got to give a lot of credit to LeBron James. I mean, the sacrificing part of it, because the conversation surrounding those two offensively was, can they play together because they're both ball dominant, right? And now we're seeing LeBron James take a backseat to Luka. And it's proven another point that LeBron James can play off the ball. We see late game that they go to their two-man game, and LeBron James all of a sudden becomes a screen setter for Luka Doncic. But I think it's the style of play that they're playing with, the spacing that they have when Austin Reeves is out there on the floor. And again, since January the 15th, they've been the best defensive team in the league, solely because you have a guy like Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt, who's been a pest since he's returned. So the Lakers have a system, and they pay attention to details, and J.J. Redick is coaching his behind off. Last but not least, you have SGA, you have Jokic, and then you have LeBron James are my top 3 MVP candidates.
I agree.
We will not sleep on LeBron James.
I agree.
You literally just said that to me during the break, that LeBron is going to finish high in the MVP.
But probably will be in the top 5, top 3 at the very least, just like Perk saying. I completely agree. And the success that the Lakers are having really immediately has to do with something that we've been talking about here before. It is the instant telepathy that he and Luka Doncic have on the court together, which you don't normally see. It's as if Luka just always knows where LeBron James is. I'll go back to what LeBron said. I'm a great wide receiver. He's a great quarterback, and these passes we're showing you are literally like Hail Marys or just long routes for LeBron, and he finds him. And watch this play. Tim Legler pointed this out last week, and look at how LeBron moves to the ball. That's not a pass to LeBron. That's a pass Luka threw to a spot, and LeBron understood, go to the spot, and in stride gets right to the basket. It's not, you can't defend that. That's a cross-court pass that he throws, and the two of them knew exactly what to do in that situation. Those are things that take time. A lot of times when stars get together, you don't see that happen right away. They need reps together. They've had that immediately, and that's why Luka could be, for right now in LeBron's career where he is, the perfect teammate for him and why it's working.
That's exactly right, because Kendrick, he's 40 years old. The man is 40 years old, and so having someone else to carry a lot of the load so that he still has energy late in games and he can still do the things he can do and he's not dependent upon to be running their offense for the entirety of a night. It really is exactly what LeBron James needed at this stage of his career, whether he realized it or not, Perk.
Oh, absolutely. And look, it's not just a duo down there in Los Angeles, and I'm talking about for the Lakers, definitely not the Clippers. They have a legit big three. We can't, Austin Reeves, he's been injured the last, 2 games or so, but Austin Reeves is averaging 19 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. His numbers are similar to Ja Morant. So they have a legit big three, and when you have 3 guys that are able to create for themselves, create for others, play off the ball, because all 3 of those guys can shoot the 3. And I know Luka's been struggling of late, but again, he's still finding his legs from being out for so long due to injury. They are a problem. They are a legit threat. And Granny, let me say this real quick. Me and Alan and you, we've been having a great time this morning, but I have to disagree with him. And he has to stop along with the rest of the world. The Denver Nuggets are not a threat in the Western Conference. The Denver Nuggets are not that damn good. J.J. Redick has exposed something about the Denver Nuggets that I'm starting to see teams do. If you make the Denver Nuggets shoot threes, you take away cutters, and you double team Jokic, you're going to win games and win a playoff series against the Nuggets. They're not a legit threat.
It's exactly what J.J. did to them in that Saturday night game.
It is, and it's easier said than done, of course. That was one game, not a playoff series with Michael Malone, who can certainly make adjustments.
Boston did it.
I will give you this. Michael Porter Jr. is not the same player he was when they won a championship, and that could be a weak link for him. I'll give you that.